that case,
finally. Sorry about the technical difficulties. We're trying to get our things straight. But welcome to the Basecamp 4 Mass Jump and live stream. And I'm here with Macros Black.
Hi Henke.
Hi Macros. How's your trip gone so far?
Oh, good.
No problems.
I found some Earthflags, which one of them will visit just after the mass jump.
Nice. And we have this week's guest, Commander Vexigon Matraxis. Welcome.
Greetings.
So how's your trip gone so far?
Without a hitch. The only major problem I've had so far has been the rubbish gold paint on my cutter, which I have to say, I've put a request to have my money back because it's rubbish. It peels off crazily, and I didn't know actually when I applied the paint that the landing gear on the cutter would remain white, imperial white, and it looks stupid. So hence my quick trip back to New Beginnings in Rosette to apply the proper default imperial white.
You definitely need your money back.
Definitely, and that's not gold. That's that's fool's gold. That's what that is.
So
Yeah.
you will send a request to customer support to get your money back?
I'll get around to it.
Ah.
Not just yet though.
Ah.
I had to do a lot of jumping with 37.5 light years jump range to go back down Daedalus Crossing and to the base camp. So that was my priority. I shall put a request in sometime soon.
Yeah. One little known fact is that if you go exploring and turn off your shield, your paint jobs and your decals will fade much quicker than if you travel with your shields on at all times.
Yeah, good point. I kept my shields on for most of my travelling, but I think it's where the paint flakes off in the sort of seams, the edges of the panels, especially on the fuselage. It doesn't look right. It doesn't look realistic or authentic. So, but I did notice the imperial white colour. It actually, when the paint wears, it's got white underneath, a white undercoat. So actually, although it's barely noticeable, it's more authentic looking.
Yeah.
However, the ship kit in the default imperial white, that does have a black undercoat. So again, I'm not sure they really thought about matching up the ship kit with the default white imperial color.
No, it doesn't sound like it.
Sorry to interrupt, but I think it should be known that at this instance there's only me and Macros. So I think wherever commanders you are at the moment, you should try to wing up with me or Macros, because this is the mass-up instance. There was some confusion regarding the mass-up location, and I think we are at the location now, so... But as you can see, there's only me and Macros, so... Wing up.
That's okay, Henk. There will be a mass jump of 2 ships.
That's like sad.
Yes, it is. It is sad.
But it may just work.
I can't promise anything. I can't promise anything. It might work, yes. But anyway, wing up with me or Macros. We are at the location now.
I got a wing signal from Cole Cassette, so...
Yeah, I got from Nimdok.
Okay.
So this is what happens when you change the plans half an hour before the stream. And this was really confusing.
Yes. I will not make that mistake again.
Don't.
Sorry. Sorry.
It was really confusing. And I don't think that I'm only one, so. But to the guest at hand. So, Vex, did I ask already how your trip has gone?
Yes, you did.
I'm really stuck at multitasking, so bear with me.
Vex, I have a question. Tell us about your Imperial cutter. And why you chose to take an Imperial cutter on this trip.
I think out of the whole fleet of ships available, the cutter, in my mind, and I'm quite fickle when it comes to aesthetics and looks really most like an exploration or a science vessel. I think when you see that long line of windows, openings behind the fuselage, and it looks like it's got sort of server rooms sitting in there, computers lined up in a long line. To me, it gives an impression that it's sciencey. You know, it's crunching data and numbers, and it's churning through exploration data and scans, etc. And that's the way my mind works. I'm a bit of a dreamer, and let my imagination run with it. I have got a 65 light year Anaconda, but I figured, well, a lot of people are going to be flying Anacondas, so I'll fly something different. I never like to go with the flow.
That's quite brave, I have to say. My hat's off to you, Cutter Commanders.
Well, having never taken it more than a couple of thousand light years out of the bubble anyway, you know, I've got nothing to benchmark it against. So I'm sure I'll be there at the end. I don't give up easily. So it's nice flying it as well. It's good. I like it. I enjoy it.
But the real question is what do you have against Anaconda?
Absolutely nothing, actually, because I only got my first Anaconda about 2 weeks before the launch of the expedition. So I haven't actually, apart from mining, I've done nothing in an Anaconda at all.
Except you got a god roll on your FSD, right? Because I noticed you said a 65 light year. Those are hard to get by.
Yeah, I got a god roll on the cutter as well. I got a 55%.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Really
so
nice.
Yeah. So I think I could just squeeze, if I just stripped it right down, I can probably get about 40 light years out of the cutter. If I can get rid of the rail gun and maybe the fighter bay.
Holy shit.
Yeah, the fighter bay is a lot. So
it seems that
you have a fighter bay now in the cup.
I'm sorry?
So you have a fighter bay now in your Imperial cutter?
Yeah, fighter bay and two SRVs.
Okay. And your current range now in the cup?
It's 37.5 basic, and on fumes 39.05. So J3 would be what, 78, just over 78.
Yeah, that's really good fire.
Nimdok asks in the chat, are we joining them or are they joining us? And he says also that they are all there, so we have like 2 instances now.
Yeah, but as you said, Hinga, we are the master instance.
Yeah, so
they should join us.
You guys don't have a stream there, so you might want to come here. Vex, where are you at the moment?
I'm in orbit just above Basecamp, and I will not be attempting to come to the launch zone.
Why?
because I can't multitask to save my life.
Ah, that's good reason. But we have here at least 4 ships at the moment. I recognize Commander Vanderflow's courier here, and that must be like...
I have Mickey Shades.
Yeah, Mickey Shades.
And,
yeah.
And Tinka. Hey.
Yeah, there's 4 of us. Oh god, no. For the love of God, I really don't know why my stream is stuttering again.
Oh, you didn't get that fixed?
Well, I dropped down my bitrate a bit, but it still lags for some reason. I really don't know. Next time I will use Shadow Play to stream. I really don't know why. It's odd, really odd. Everything seems to be okay in OBS, so I don't know what the hell YouTube is doing at the moment.
Sounds like you need to fiddle some more. Vex, can you tell us a bit about your commander background? How long you've been playing, what you're doing when you're not doing expeditions and stuff like that?
Yes, I started about 2 years ago. Trying to remember where I first heard of Elite. I'm not one of the older crowd who remember the original Elite from 1984. I used to play a role-playing game in the late 80s called Traveller, which I think was set in the Elite universe. It must have been a sort of a byproduct or an offshoot. The original game, I suppose, a bit like Dungeons and Dragons, but set in space.
Yeah.
Played that for a few years, and when I think I came across maybe an Obsidian Ant video or Scott Manley video, I think I'd maybe spent all day looking at Russian cars crashing on YouTube. Noticed, as you do, of course. And noticed, I think, in the right-hand side there was an Elite Dangerous video, and it looked great. The imagery was great. I liked all the the ships, some of the footage of planets and sunrises and things was amazing. I thought I've got to have that.
Yeah.
So the first thing I did was get a hot ass, the X52 Pro, and it came with a free Elite Dangerous for free. And then I upgraded to Horizons. And pretty much played solo for 2 years. In fact, I only came out of solo for the expedition. Never been in a private group before. Didn't do very much apart from try and earn money, buy new ships, gain rank. I did a 16,000 light year round trip, I think. Didn't like mining, didn't like combat.
I love mining.
Mostly trading. Actually, I like mining now. And now I've got the Anaconda, actually. I do like mining now.
I do all my mining in T9. It's so relaxing.
Yeah. Kind of floated around. Moved home from Brooks Terminal in the Turia system to the iSolar station in Breslau. Where they've got every ship available there, and I think all modules as well. They are full price though.
Yeah, they do. They have a surplus cost of modules and ships, if I remember correctly. So it's a bit more expensive. So have you hit Elite in any of the freeze?
No. Highest is Pioneer and Exploration, I think.
Okay.
You'll be Elite after this trip is done.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Easily,
yes.
It's not one of my focuses, though. Really, if you like,
no,
nice to have.
Not for me also.
I just enjoy the environment, the ambience. the imagery, you know, the kind of the feeling that you get from floating out in space. So I've got an HTC Vive, so putting that on and then just drifting around space and exploring new systems is great fun.
Yeah, I have a Vive also, but it's just when I'm doing streaming like this, I really can't use the Vive because nobody wants to watch that. Watching somebody streaming while playing in VR, it's painful to watch, I think.
Well, you might get even more stutter on your live stream if you do that as well.
Yeah, and it's really not fun to watch. I have watched few Cmdrs streaming while they're playing in VR, and I just can't watch it because the movement is way greater at the monitor than inside your VR, and you sometimes just forget it.
Yeah, you're right. It's quite jerky.
Yeah.
You kind of need, you know, like the modern drones now have gimbals on the cameras and the GoPros, etc., just to smooth out the movement up and down and side to side.
Yeah.
Kind of need something like that, I think.
But I really can recommend VR for everyone. So, if your stomach can handle it.
That's very true, especially in the station. I think that's where I've had my worst experiences.
Yeah, me too. I have an Oculus Rift, but it's been more than half a year since I used it last time. Because I get easily, my stomach get easily upset, and especially when entering the station. That's the worst time, really. So my stomach just goes, whoa, that's a lot down or up or sideways. So I'm just using it to play. Do you use the HTC Vive all the time, Rex?
No. Maybe about 30-40% of the time, depending on the location. I try and avoid using it in stations now, in the bubble. If I'm out and about in systems, exploring, venturing to moons and planets, I'll use it then. For a start, it's a smoother performance. I use a very old 8-core processor with a 1070 graphics card, and it works flawlessly when out in the void. Not so well towards stations. We get a bit of stutter and a bit of lag, and that just only adds to the discomfort, I think.
How much FPS do you get in the stations? Frames per second?
It sort of drops to, I don't know, 40, 50.
Oh dear. What I've heard is that's really bad for VR, because then your balancing nerves really get upset with low FPS.
Indeed. But out where there's, out in the void, there's nothing. It's smooth, really as smooth as anything. 90 FPS constantly, so it's fine.
We are having few Cmdrs here now, so it might be that people are finding their way here.
Yeah, it looks like it. I think about 9-10 commanders now.
I just winged Johnny Frost, so if anyone else needs wing invite, feel free to wing me or else. What am I doing? No.
Vex, what made you join the Ends Circumnavigation Expedition?
I was on one of the Frontier. I was looking in Frontiers forum, and I think I was just browsing. I'd submitted a ticket, I think, at stage, and I came across the exploration link. Clicked on it and was just glancing through it, and I noticed your post. I think it was. With a little logo and a map of the galaxy, the route all the way around, and I thought, this sounds like it's right up my street.
Brilliant.
And I applied. You kindly accepted me, and haven't looked back since. It's been really good. Really enjoyed it.
What I find interesting is that you're not the first one of our guests who says that DECE is the first big expedition for him or her. So we're having quite a lot of first timers, so to speak, at here. Didn't you say that you haven't had any bigger expeditions before this?
That's right. I think, like probably a lot of commanders, see, one of the conditions or requirements for one of the engineers to travel, is it 5,000 light years from the bubble, or round trip, or whatever. And I think I'd had an Asp Explorer with 33 light years jump range, and just headed out just to see what was out there. And in doing so, completed that requirement for the engineer. That's the furthest I've ever been. I think those commanders who decide on their own that they're going to do a major expedition.
Well, that's something I haven't done before. I have never been alone anywhere, so that's something I really need to do sometime.
It's quite daunting, isn't it? I think I'd seen a few videos of the Distant Worlds expedition as well, and that looked. I think that set my expectations, in a sense of this is what it's like. You know, base camps, people meeting up, discoveries on the way, and so far this expedition, the Ends expedition, has lived up to it. I think it's been absolutely brilliant, and the commanders, both on Discord and in game, have been fabulous. Really good bunch of people.
Yeah, everyone. I really have to agree with that. Good folk, good folk.
So what's your favorite thing about doing exploration? Finding ELVs, ammonia worlds, or just, well?
Probably not the science part or the discovery part, in the sense of, you know, accumulating Earth-like worlds or water worlds or ammonia worlds. I don't keep track of how many I find. For me, it's the experience. It's the new site, the new image just around the corner, coming up upon something you've not seen before. Like, for instance, two very close moons orbiting close to a gas giant. I think a lot of my imagination is basically invested in the game, in the sense that it fulfills a certain part of my mentality, and I think therefore I take a lot of pictures, for instance, and I also write music because it's a good inspiration for both those things.
Yeah, I gotta say, Vex, that some of your pictures has been really awesome.
Thank you.
I'm a bit jealous, really.
Yeah. Macros, what's the... did you put the system... there?
Yes.
Yeah. You did, yes. Okay. Good.
Yes, I will.
But on the other hand, I do admire commanders who are there for the science. Your last week's guest,
Jackie Silver.
Yeah,
she is really doing some awesome work, working on the decompiling of the naming conventions for the procedural generated systems. That has really been some awesome work.
I'm very impressed by how thorough everyone is, actually, with recording things and also regurgitating the information for other people to use as well, like routes into a waypoint or a distant star or whatever.
Yeah, and although I was on the show last night with Jackie, I think I'm in the same category as Henke. I was just sitting there. What? I don't. What does that mean? I don't understand. But yeah, she's really doing deep science, and I admire that.
Yeah, really.
But as you, Vex, I'm also here for the sites. So looking for special systems, like you mentioned, really close worlds with close to a gas giant, so you get some spectacular pictures of that.
Indeed.
I think everyone can start up their FSDs. Ready to spool up, because it's almost 1 minute to go. What? No. Wrong button. Actually, I'm not jumping. I don't have to spool up because I'm not jumping. I'm just filming the jump. So Vex, are we expecting any new music in the close near future?
Well, the plan is to write something around each waypoint or base camp that we go along. So
Really?
hopefully, after maybe 38 of these, I may be able to pick 7 to go on some sort of small album or something.
Really nice. Looking forward to it. I really like your music.
Very kind, thank you.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's absolutely beautiful music you have composed.
And I think everyone should subscribe to your channel in YouTube because just because.
Thank you.
Even if that kind of music wouldn't be your liking, you really should subscribe because you're helping your fellow DCists.
Well, my style is fairly eclectic. I mean, everything from minimalist to epic hybrid to 80s style. I wouldn't classify myself as a good writer. I'm very much a bedroom musician, but it's fun, and I like to be inspired by this expedition into writing something. It helps me a lot, and that's what I need.
Yeah. And we have a mass jump.
Yes, we did. And I think it was a good one too, because I see a lot of commanders here.
I think Macros might have to get this stream a bit longer because this half an hour goes so quickly. There's nothing we can do.
Yeah, it does.
It's
so
like
initially we were somewhat afraid of dead air, but that's hard to get into with just half an hour. So I think you're right. Maybe 45 minutes next time.
Yeah, might be. We can try if people wants to see this chatting a bit longer, but I think that this 30 minutes is way too short.
Yeah, it is. Especially if we have to focus on commanders together.
Yeah, and for me, I really suck at multitasking, so all my energy goes to the inviting wings and organizing people there and here and there and streaming and watching the stream and watching the chat and stuff and things. And
well, there's only about another 34 attempts, Henke, so you should be fine.
Thanks. Yeah, well, that was our Basecamp 4 live stream and talk show and mass jump. And despite of we having a little bit technical difficulties at the start and some confusion regarding the location, we ended up jumping. So next Basecamp is number 5 and it's day before Christmas at 23rd. And it might be that I'm not around here at that time because I have some Christmas obligations to do and I'm not sure yet, but I will find out it in next couple of weeks. Am I around or am I not? But if I'm not around, then the next stream is only with Macros Black and whoever is our guest then. But at this point I will thank you, Vex, for being as guest. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. And fly safe, Commanders.
Yes, thank you, Vex.
Same to you. And for you watching, thanks for watching and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.